This is number 17B, the answer to the What Is It series mystery tool. Go back and look at 17A if you haven't seen it yet. I knew these would be easy, and they were. All of these little wrenches are magneto wrenches, or I suppose distributor wrenches, but they just include a little wrench along with the appropriate feeler gauge. Now that one's unmarked as to the manufacturer, as is that one, and I suppose they were considered throwaways. This one says Sims Magneto, and this is the one that I found interesting because I had a Delco engine, you know, oh, what do we call it? Power set. I don't know why it says Liberty on there, but there's the feeler gauge. I wish I still had it, but the Delco actually didn't have a distributor. It was a breaker type ignition that had a spark coil, if you're familiar with that Delco set. Remember, Charles Kettering was responsible for Dayton Electric Company, so that's a nicely made one, forged and everything, not like the other cheaper stamped ones. And then, if you're not familiar with magnetos, magnetos were just a self-contained spark device that was used on earlier engines and tractors, and they didn't use a distributor because they may not have had electric start. But if you pull the cover off of any one of these magnetos, you're going to see that it's similar to the way distributors were made, with the coil is in here, the impulse unit over here, impulse coupling. This is an American Bosch. They're all kind of similar, but there is of course the condenser and the breaker points. And if you had one of these in your toolbox, you know, you could double check, take the points out, clean them, reset them, and so on. There's the rotor, a lot like a distributor. I find these very interesting. I got a bunch of them. This one is dead. It was Howard Golden out of Florida that sent me those little wrenches as well as these, and I had quite a few correct guesses on these. These are simply spoke wrenches for bicycle wheels, but they sure were substantially built years ago, and this is what a modern one looks like. But even that's got two pieces, and sometimes you see one stamped out of a flat stock, considered throwaway, but I suppose that's still $2. But look at the precision on these, and I think I'll go out to the bicycle and just show you how it fits on there. But if you need to tighten or balance a wheel and replace spokes, this fit over the nipple, and then the spoke came up here through this little slot, and you could tighten the wrench down and turn. Let's go look at a bicycle wheel. This is what it looks like mounted on the nipple of the spoke. It's just tightened down right here, and then the spoke goes through that little slot that I just mentioned. Rather complicated tool for such a simple job. Quite a few of you had this one right. It is a reloading tool, and it has some similarity to what modern loading tools, or at least a bullet mold, might look like. But the interesting thing, and this might have some value, I'm not sure, but it's marked Winchester Arms Company, New Haven, Connecticut. There are all the patent dates. I'll give you another close-up on that. And I believe that stands for 22 Winchester Centerfire. And I didn't even know there was a centerfire 22, but a regular 22 falls right through there, so I don't understand that. I'll make sure that's out of there. But there's a little ejector there, kind of like a single shot. That's pretty neat. And there are two patent dates on there. That came in an auction box, and remember I told you that it was, well, it was in one of my videos, but that was all rusted over. You couldn't read anything, so it looked pretty crude. Maybe that's why it didn't get picked out of the auction box, but you still find some oddities at auctions, believe it or not. So that's what that is. This is a close-up of the reloader showing the patent dates, and there's two patent dates. And I have both patent sheets if anybody's interested in that type of thing. You can look those up on the internet, on Google, patents, that's where I found them. This is the Winchester patent drawing. I'll scan down it and you can pause your video at any point, or you can look this up on the internet. And that doesn't look at all like the one I've got, but I think the internal workings here are similar. This is the Barlow patent of November 7th, 1882. You know, when you got to look up these real old ones, they didn't go by the patent number yet, they went by the patent date. Again, it's not exactly like the one that I have, but more similarity, I think. I suppose when they get to manufacturing something, they change the design. There's all the names. And there are patent descriptions too. I'm not going to show those, but you know, they go into great legalese detail. There's one of those for each of the dates. Look those up if you're interested. I do find this historical stuff rather fascinating, but some of you may not. Nobody guessed this one, and I didn't expect that they would, because I had a heck of a time myself finding out what it was. I've had it for many, many years. I don't know how many times I refrained from throwing it out, but I just thought it looked kind of intricate. And those are apparently ounce marks on there, but right here is the name, and it's marked K.R. Wilson 12151N. Now the K.R. Wilson Company, and they have a historical website that somebody put up about all the different tools that they made, and they made tools primarily for Ford Motor Company, but not tools that would be used by a home mechanic, but they were used in the garages, and cylinder sleeve pullers, and just all kinds of tools that, and he had an association with Henry Ford himself, this Mr. Wilson, so he must have been quite ingenious. But what this one does, and I'll show you that very poor picture of it, is to check the tension on the spring in the distributor. Now I believe that would have been for the Ford V8s, the flatheads, because they didn't have points, I don't believe, in the Model Ts and the Model As. So this would have come after that, probably all through the 30s and 40s. These were used at dealerships, I guess. But kind of a neat thing, and I think this is kind of rare. That'll go on eBay along with that bullet thing, I believe. I got to get rid of some stuff around here, but that's kind of neat. That was a true mystery tool. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Keep watching my videos. I'll be doing a lot more of these in the What Is It series. They seem to be pretty popular. And thank you for all the guesses, the funny ones as well, because some of you guys got a sense of humor, and your funny ones are, well, they just amuse me and give me a chuckle and maybe make my day. So keep those up too. This is Tubalcain saying so long for now.